Please welcome on stage the TRA Chair of the Organising Committee, Celine Crawford, and the TRA Chair of the Programme Committee, Kieran McNally.
A chuirde, is man anar dom fragar a hort son TRA fihe cahar fuair na heran an lá jera inu. Colleagues, friends, on behalf of the Irish host, I would like to welcome you to the TRA closing ceremony. So, what makes TRA such a special event? You do. The attendees, the researchers, the educators, the business leaders, and the policy makers. You have taken the time to come to Dublin to meet, to network, to learn, to share, to collaborate and to educate. You all are the beating heart of Transport Research Arena. And our transport future is bright. Yesterday, we had 240 16-year-old students tour our exhibition. 3 of these young people then took part in a panel discussion with transport professionals from Ireland, the UK, and the European Commission. As a result of that, these students will continue their engagement with the Irish Department of Transport via a programme of sustainable mobility workshops.
I'd like to follow up on 2 points raised by Celine. I'd like to highlight the importance of collaboration and also the participation of our future transport researchers at the conference. I've had the privilege of working with the Programme Committee for TRA 2024. We have 10 core stakeholders that underpin TRA, and as ever, they have provided excellent support throughout the preparation of the programme. However, the research landscape is changing all the time, and we at TRA are changing with it. This time, we've seen increased engagement with SINEA. We've had further engagement with the JUs and the partnerships who have all contributed. These valuable contributions have brought new people to TRA, and these interactions are driving the innovation that we've seen. This week, we've had 450 oral presentations. We've had 350 poster presentations. The posters in particular have been a big success, and we've had large crowds attending every day. I'll finish up just by highlighting our young researchers. About 10% of the delegates this week are students taking their PhDs, and they're crucial for our attempts to deliver a research-informed transport system. On Monday evening, we had a really successful reception for these young researchers. We saw that they're keen to build their own networks, they're eager to make an impact, and we hope that TRA has provided the focus to support this.
So, as we close Transport Research Arena in Dublin, we are setting a challenge. We must combine the lessons that we have learned and shared and the partnerships that we have formed this week to shape a transport world that is safe, inclusive, equitable and sustainable for all. Now we have a change to our schedule. Unfortunately, Mrs. Mary Robinson, our former President of Ireland, is unable to join us today. However, we are delighted to welcome to the stage the Vice President of TRA 2024, Minister of State, Jack Chambers.
Many thanks, Celine, for your kind introduction. And as Vice President of the Transport Research Arena 2024, I would like to extend a sincere thank you to all of you today and to all who have attended this fantastic event, now in its 10th iteration in Dublin over the last 4 days. Dublin, and indeed Ireland's relationship with transport, has been transformative and transformational. Transport in its many forms, but particularly as an island nation through our air and sea connectivity, has revolutionised Ireland's economy and society from one half a century ago that was isolated and underdeveloped on the periphery of Europe to one of the best performing and most dynamic in Europe and the world today. That transformation is certainly not lost on me, and as I stand here and reflect on the scale and breadth of areas and topics covered here as part of this major event in Dublin this week. As stakeholders, you represent transport research and the different modes of transport, such as in road, water, rail, aviation, logistics, and the list goes on and on. Your attendance this week has helped us discuss how research, innovation, and indeed technology can work together to shape out current and future transport and mobility systems. And the passion and dedication on display has really been commendable and infectious. I have noticed the fantastic buzz, as we say here in Ireland, and enthusiasm through the conference halls and in the exhibits space all week. It's greatly appreciated as well that you have chosen to spend your valuable time here in Dublin attending TRA 2024. I would also like to thank all of the researchers who participated in our call for abstracts and TRA Visions, which was our young researchers competition. You may be aware that this was the first time that the TRA conference has been held beyond mainland Europe. This week, water, rail, road, air and cross-modality have been represented right here in the RDS. One of our goals was to showcase the best Europe and specifically Ireland has to offer across the vital transport and mobility arena. Each of our plenary panels, ministerial host roundtables and strategic sessions have helped us achieve this goal and made it even a more important event to remember. I was privileged to participate in a number of sessions and to take away some very clear observations which will inform both my work and the work of the Department of Transport, but also the government going forward. Chief among these is the need for constant and continuous innovation. This is clear in all sectors, but I think particularly in the case of transport. And I've seen and heard this week how innovation can and will make the transportation of people and goods easier and faster, more seamless and less expensive, more interconnected and much more sustainable. It's also clear to me that innovation will the role it'll play in making transportation safer for all, in particular for vulnerable road users. It has been an incredibly difficult and heartbreaking period on Irish roads with the loss of so many lives, and particularly so many young people who've lost their lives. And I as a government, I as a minister and the government as a whole are committed to taking forward the measures to break this trend. Having participated in a number of different road safety discussions this week, including the EU Road Safety Conference on Tuesday, I know that this is a challenge that many countries are struggling to manage. And as we've heard, over 20,000 road deaths occurred across the continent last year. And following the engagements this week, I am more determined and confident that working in collaboration with colleagues from across governments, enterprise, enforcement and academia, we can help ensure our roads become safer for all users in the period ahead. TRA 2024 at its core is a research conference, has been an opportunity to facilitate the highest level political discussions with representatives from multiple countries, organisations from countries within and beyond Europe on a global stage. It has provided a research forum for policymakers, owners, operators and suppliers to explore and share the latest technological and industrial developments in the sector, whilst also looking at innovative transport policies in Europe, worldwide, to strengthen links with the wider international community. The theme of TRA, Transport Transitions, Advancing Sustainable and Inclusive Mobility, and as we are aware, the world is facing unprecedented challenges from the increasing demand and efficient, sustainable transportation and mobility solutions. There is an urgent need to address the challenge as well of climate change, and now more than ever, the role of research in transportation is pivotal. It is through the collaboration and efforts of academics, industry experts and policymakers that we can envision and implement transformative strategies which will define the future of transportation. And TRA 2024 is not merely a gathering of individuals. It was a platform to exchange knowledge, to forge partnerships and foster workable solutions. The research presented at TRA has the potential to reshape the future transportation landscape. It will serve as a catalyst influencing policy decisions, supporting economic growth, shaping social development, and showing really important technological advancements. And as I outlined earlier, the outcomes from this week will lead to real change. And we know the success of TRA24 should be assessed and considered only in that context. And I'm really grateful for the thoughtful discussions and engagement that have occurred across the conference, and I'm certain that it will shape the future of mobility, sustainability and accessibility for many generations to come. I also want to put on record my thanks to the Royal Dublin Society for their hospitality and for allowing us to host TRA here at this wonderful venue. I think we can all agree that it has been a fitting and fantastic home for TRA. And I would also like to extend a final thank you to all of the organisers of this event, and particularly all the public servants, both in the Department of Transport, in Transport Infrastructure Ireland, in the National Transport Authority, and the wider breadth of public service in Ireland, which are really proud to promote that innovation. We're proud to do that at home as people that are committed to public service, but I see it every day in the Department of Transport, an incredible team, not only trying to drive innovation, sustainability and opportunity for our country, but are committed to advancing that wider collective cause. And the transport system as we know it needs to be that international collaboration if we are going to make a key difference. So I think a round of applause for the public service in Ireland who've done an incredible job in hosting this event. And we extend that thanks of public service as well to the co-organisers, which is the European Commission, and again, a really brilliant group of people who I met previously at TRB and when I attend the Transport Council, who are really committed to the cause of building a more sustainable transportation system, but also making sure it's a catalyst for wider economic development and opportunity across our conference. So I sincerely hope that everyone here today and everyone who attended throughout the week had a really enjoyable time in Dublin. I know particularly the informal conversations that happen outside the event is where much of the business is done. So I hope you all enjoyed the rest of your time in Dublin. It's a privilege to have hosted you all, and I hope we can all bring those shared learnings to our respective countries and to our respective research across Europe, and hopefully we can build this into a bigger and leverage the opportunity for Europe and beyond. So thanks very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the time here. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Chambers. Next, I'd like to introduce you to a true expert on transport research arena. Eugene O'Brien is the Professor of Civil Engineering in University College Dublin and a co-founder of Research Solutions. He has led multi-million euro research projects since the 4th European Framework Programme. A previous TRA Visions Award winner, today he will discuss the conclusions we can draw across the 4 days of TRA 2024. Please welcome Professor Eugene O'Brien to the stage.
Thank you. So these are my personal comments. I have to say they're not agreed with anybody else. It's just my personal story. And I've had a fun job this week because I've been able to go around and talk to everybody and ask them about everything. I need to find how to change the slides. So I'm in University College Dublin, but I'm also in a company called Research Driven Solutions. And we have people from 3 Dublin universities. So we straddle the whole thing from theoretical research to very applied research. And these are the themes that I came across during the week. So there are 10 different themes here, and I'm going to go very quickly through each of them. So the first one is partnerships. We need partnerships between researchers from industry, from academia, policymakers as well. We need global connections, and I was delighted to see that South Korea is joining the Horizons Europe program now. And we need the TRA, of course, to disseminate the results of our research. I talked to the BMW people at their stand, and I thought that was a good example of partnership. BMW are realizing that they're not going to be selling cars to inner city people anymore, so they're looking at the overall transport solutions. And they're sharing data with the city of Munich to try to reduce congestion in the city. So a good example of research collaboration. In policy, the research results should support the development of policy, of course, and the policy should be evidence-based. It seems obvious. And it's only through research that we can deliver the solutions that European transport needs. I investigated the Sprout project. It's a city-specific policy response, and they're responding to user feedback. So they're talking to stakeholders, and they're talking to the general public. I thought it was a good example of policy-driven research. We need competitiveness. And of course, this is a pretty obvious one. We need transport to be competitive, and we have all kinds of technical innovations going on. So we need new technologies to make transport more competitive, and we need more competitive transport, of course, makes the whole economy more competitive. It stimulates economic growth for Europe, which of course is what we all want. We also need to reduce dependency on external resources. And the photograph is a drone, which I'm delighted to say is used for peaceful purposes, and it's shipping medicines where they're needed, accessing offshore platforms, and things like that. A fantastic exhibit outside of the Irish Rail machinery. So they have lots of new railway technologies going on there, and they're making the track smoother and more even, so a smoother ride for the customers and higher speeds can be achieved. So a simple enough idea, but very important. We saw an enormous truck outside. So this is not legal in Ireland. I don't know how they got it here. But this is a 25-meter long truck, and they're only allowed to be 15 meters in Ireland. Bigger trucks, not everybody likes them, but actually they're more sustainable. That means fewer journeys for the same amount of freight transported. It reduces the cost of transport, which of course stimulates the economy again. And pavement wear can actually be reduced because you can spread the load over more axles. So also, if they share their data, we can get better compliance with speed limits. There is a question of where do you stop? Because I was at a presentation, and the Finnish people are now at 76-ton legal limit. It's enormous. It's double what we've got here. And the industry want to go heavier. So who knows where it's going to end. We need to invest in research. Again, this is a pretty obvious one. But Europe, if you've been in Dublin for a few days, you know that Europe is not a low-cost economy. We need to invest in research to develop a knowledge-driven economy. We need investment at all levels, by Europe, by the national countries, and by industry. We need to also have research at every TRL level. I believe fundamentally that we need the very basic research, blue skies type research, and we need practical implementable research. So we need it at every level. We heard a lot about safety, and of course safety is again an obvious one. Transportation must be safe, and it must be safe for all users, old people and young people, people with abilities and disabilities. I saw a very interesting one that features such as pedestrian crossings over railways. They're often engineering designed, and I'm an engineer, but they need to consider human behavior as well. So SNCF, the French railway people, have a virtual reality simulation. So they're getting people to experience a railway crossing, and they're looking at how people are responding to different designs. So there were things like a sense of insecurity late at night in an isolated area, and this is coming across from the virtual reality testing. We need transport to be sustainable. And I had lots of fun with this because I went all over the exhibition and asked everybody a lot of questions. It's not my own area. We need a transition to a zero-emission mobility. We need to effective use of very scarce natural resources. And of course, we need circular economy principles. But decarbonizing is the big challenge. Now, rail is easy enough. Rail is electric in many countries and has good potential to compete with air to take freight out of the skies and take people out of the skies, for shorter journeys at least. Decarbonizing personal road transport is happening. We're starting to buy electric cars. Road freight transport is not quite there yet, so some challenges remain. And I talked to the people at the exhibition here, and they're using cooking oil, things like that, it's already making a contribution. And Ireland is one of the countries that's rolling out a network of filling stations for this biogas. And this is a potential solution for road freight transport. But as I say, it's not quite there yet. More research is probably needed. The waterborne is more difficult. I talked to people in the exhibitions there, and they need a massive increase in the construction of plants to produce enough biofuels to decarbonize shipping. It's a huge challenge. Hydrogen in its gas form takes up too much space. That doesn't seem to be a solution right now. And liquid hydrogen is a possible future solution, but the technologies are not there yet. So there's a challenge there, research challenge. That was a fantastic one. Sailing ships to help make them more efficient. I like that one. I talked to the air people as well, and they talked about mild hybrids. So this is a picture of an electric motor to complement the internal combustion or whatever kind of jet engine that they have in an airplane. So the mild hybrid would improve the efficiency of what's going on, but it doesn't completely solve the problem. And they expect that this will happen quite quickly, especially for shorter journeys and smaller airplanes. Full hybrid will follow, and they expect perhaps hydrogen will happen eventually, but there is a research challenge there, definitely. There are other emissions coming from transport, like when you brake, the material gets into the atmosphere and it's unhealthy. With this young student, a winner of one of the TRA Visions prizes, he has a solution. So he has a liquid that when you apply energy to it, it becomes solid and it acts as a brake. I thought it was very clever, and it's great to see young people contributing some answers to these challenges. And of course, cycling is the best solution of all. And here is a company that have an app to incentivize cycling. So that's important as well. I went to a presentation on biodiversity, and I heard that 60% of all species on the planet have been lost to extinction since 1970. That's in my lifetime. Now, of course, this is not all because of transport, but it's still frightening, and transport is playing a part. We offset the carbon footprint of this conference by re-wetting a peatland area in Ireland, and that's a win-win solution. So we reduce the carbon footprint, but we also enhance biodiversity by restoring a habitat, an important habitat. And peatland is a very special kind of habitat. I would like to see a lot more biodiversity in the next TRAs. Equity. Equity of access to transport for all citizens, regardless of geography or ability, of course, must be delivered. And we need to secure the livelihoods of transport workers. I think many of us were moved by Jack Kavanagh's presentation on the first day. He made a very deep impression on many of us. He talked about small keys opening large doors, and we are all key holders, so we can all make a difference. And Jack talked about difficulties of accessing things like trains when you're in a wheelchair. And I was delighted to go out to the mock-up of the tram carriage outside there and see that they're introducing accessible carriages to Dublin in the near future. So well done, Dublin, we've got something right. Equity is also about transport in rural areas. It's not just urban. And there's a Spanish company had this app talking about demand-responsive transport. So a taxi is fully flexible, a bus is quite inflexible. So this is something in between. So demand-responsive app, it could go more or less anywhere you want it to go within reason. So a good solution. And he said that he even made it easy enough for old people like me to use it. I heard about mobility as a right. It's the first time I've heard of this. So a right to transport that's inclusive, regardless of capability, regardless of economic background. We heard a lot about skills. What will the transport workforce look like in the future? And how will we get there? And I visited this stand in the exhibition area about micro-credentials, short little courses. They're not as daunting as taking a full course, and they're stackable. So you can stack these micro-credentials and create a bigger qualification for yourself. So it seemed like a good, innovative way to help with the skills. We need to address gender imbalance. 16.8% women in the world and about 20% in the European Union. It seems very low. We need young people. The motivation for these young people is not just about salary, it's also about getting them into the vision of trying to make a difference. And some of the skills are not technical, they're customer care, not just technical. And we need to start persuading people early. And some of them said schools, and then others said primary schools, and then others said kindergarten. We need to start young, anyway, to impress on these young people the importance of transport and working in that area. And I was delighted to see that the Maritime Skills Forum is being launched shortly, and they're going to be discussing, educators discussing with transport unions, and hopefully they get some solutions. And we heard a lot about resilience. The Baltimore Bridge collapse seemed like a good example of that recently, of something that wasn't resilient. And we need transport networks that are able to survive shocks, whether they're natural or man-made, and they must be able to recover quickly following such shocks. And this is a project I'm working in myself, which is a resilient intermodal transport. And finally, then, we heard about digitization. So we need to exploit the potential of digitization to address all of these challenges. We need to accelerate implementation and adoption of these new digital technologies. I was delighted to meet this lady from the University of Groningen who is doing legal research. And this was in the session just before this one. They were talking about data and GDPR and how do you overcome the legal challenges of keeping the data anonymous. It's great to see some legal people at the TRA conference. So she allowed me to take her picture and share it with you. I thought this was a nice example of digitization. This is from Transport Infrastructure Ireland, and they're using AI to analyze their LiDAR data of the landscape and identify archaeological features in the landscape. And then they can choose their route for the road that avoids these important features. So it does in minutes what people would spend hours doing before. In conclusion then, we have many challenges, but we've made a lot of progress. The TRA conference series allows us to identify the challenges, allows us to review our progress, but most of all, I think it allows us to strengthen our contacts. I met so many people I hadn't seen in years, and to meet new friends. And together, we can address the transportation challenges of our time. Thank you very much.
I'll now introduce John McCarthy to the stage, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. And now we have a very special closing moment for you. Entertainment plays a crucial role in reflecting and preserving a society's cultural values and traditions. Irish culture and music has a rich and vibrant history that influences not only Ireland, but also many parts of the world. And I hope we have entertained you this week, and that I would like to introduce our final farewell piece of entertainment. I would like you to all join in the final song. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the keynotes. Right?
liviame dolci fremiti che suscita l'amore, poiché quello che al cuore onnipotente va. Amore, amore fra calici più calida ci avrà. La pazza, la tazza, il cantico, la notte bella, il riso. In questo paradiso mi scoppia il nuovo dì. La vita nel tripudio, quando non sai di ancora. Nel vita nel tripudio, è il mio destino così. In questo paradiso mi scoppia il nuovo dì. Ne scoppia il nuovo dì. Ne scoppia il nuovo dì. Sì, ne scoppia il nuovo dì. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, this is an international conference, but we want to bring it back. I know you had a wonderful opening ceremony. We want to bring it back to the Irish song for a moment. And of course, we have so many great Irish poets, but perhaps our finest, most romantic poet is the great W.B. Yeats. And this song is the perfect Irish love song. It starts really well and ends quite poorly. It is Down by the Sally Gardens. Here to sing it is Jeremy.
Down by the Sally Gardens, my love and I did meet. She passed the Sally Gardens on little snow-white feet. She bid me take love easy as the leaves grow on the tree. But I, being young and foolish, with her did not agree. In a field down by the river, my love and I did stand, and on my leaning shoulder she laid her snow-white hand. She bid me take love easy as the grass grows on the weeds. But I was young and foolish, and now I'm full of tears.
Thank you very much. We couldn't leave without this next song. We're very good in Ireland at gathering anthems. You'll all know this from the rugby. And this year, in the spirit of inclusiveness, we decided to lose a game. But that being said, I know there's a few rugby fans from Albert to everyone else. So this is a song, you'll all know the chorus. Please do join us. We'll even try it once for you with the Irish contingent. Ireland, Ireland, together standing tall, shoulder to shoulder, we'll answer Ireland's call. Okay, that's not a great rehearsal, but maybe once we get started, you all know what's coming. This is, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to us. This is Ireland's Call. Please join us.
Power and the glory, we've come to answer our country's call. From the four proud provinces of Ireland. Here we go. Ireland, Ireland, together standing tall, shoulder to shoulder, we'll answer from Dublin Bay, from the four proud provinces of Ireland. Ireland, Ireland, together standing tall, shoulder to shoulder, we'll answer Ireland's call. And heads unbowing, bowing never to be broken. We will fight until we can fight no more. From the four proud provinces of Ireland. Ireland, Ireland, together standing tall, to shoulder, we'll answer Ireland's call. Ireland, Ireland, together standing tall, shoulder to shoulder, we'll answer Ireland's call. We'll answer.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to the keynotes. Now, it's been an honour to chair the TRA Management Committee. This committee is the governing body of the TRA and has oversight of the TRA conference. It is composed of the host, the European Commission, and 8 organisations representing all modes of transport. The TRA Management Committee is supported by the Organising Committee, the Programme Committee, and the coordinating support actions, as well as the conference ambassadors. In all, there are over 150 people involved in these committees, and I wish to thank all for their participation and support. The Transport Research Arena is the biggest transport conference of its kind in Europe. At its core, it is a research conference that connects with the transport community, including industry and operators, as well as government. The sessions and activities of the TRA reflect this through conversations and collaboration. that we have all seen this week. This TRA 2024 conference is the result of several years of work by a lot of people representing these committees, as well as the key organisations. The conference organiser, and for many, particularly over the last number of months, this has been intense and full-time for all involved, and really would like to express my thanks to all who've been involved in that, in terms of the endless meetings and discussions, in terms of making this what I feel has been a wonderful event. Importantly, we all came together to achieve this as one team. As part of our work building up to the TRA, we as hosts set about meeting with a range of stakeholders, starting with the core members and organisations and reaching out to other organisations and governments across Europe, the UK and North America. And this has been a key feature of our approach. We have had over 250 meetings with all of these organisations, and we are very grateful to all of them for you to give your time to meet us and then in turn to support this conference. A particular mention needs to be given to the US Department of Transportation and the US Transportation Research Board. The support of both organisations has been incredible in facilitating us at the TRB conference in Washington and in support of the TRA, with a large, high-level US delegation to this TRA, as well as to the TRB itself, holding meetings here at this TRA. Ireland, as host of the TRA, holds the presidency of the TRA, and for which Minister Eamon Ryan is the president and Minister Jack Chambers is the vice president. Both have devoted an awful lot of time to the TRA, and their support has been invaluable and instrumental in achieving what we have achieved, and for which the TRA Management Committee and the conference organisers are very grateful to both of you. I would like to express my thanks to colleagues in the EU Commission, the TII and the Department of Transport for their support. It was really felt and really appreciated, and again, we wouldn't have achieved it as we all worked together to achieve this. And finally, I would like to thank you, the delegates or participants, for being our guests and for giving us your time, and that I hope you've had a successful week here in Dublin. Thank you. Albert, before you start, there's just one more thing I forgot to mention. And I suppose in recognition of Albert's efforts, Albert had a long career working in transport and research, and he's about to retire in the next few weeks. And I suppose a mark of this and the time and effort that he's put into the TRA, he stayed on to finish this and to see it through, and for which we're very grateful. We want to mark this with an award to Albert in his role as conference director for the TRA. So with your support, I'd like to award this. Well done. Oh, I forgot. Thank you.
Surprise. And I'm not quite sure how I'd continue, but we'll see how it goes. It's been a real privilege and pleasure for me to have led the organising team for TRA 2024 Dublin for the last few years. It's been a long journey for us. John mentioned 7 years. That's actually how long we've been planning this. It's actually been 5 years since we put put in the original submission for TRA 2024. So there's been a lot of work involved. It's a long journey to get here today, and we're delighted to welcome the almost 4,500 delegates. We actually haven't finished counting them yet. Visitors to our wonderful country, our wonderful city, and of course our wonderful event. I'm reminded that the initial planning for this conference took place in pre-COVID times. And since then, we've gone through some remarkable changes. And these are changes that have affected us right through our lives, not least in our mobility and transport choices. I personally think we've actually adapted to these challenges very well, enforced as they were. And it just certainly gives me some encouragement and confidence that we do have the ability to achieve the transitions that we've been discussing over the last few days here at TRA Dublin. And those changes that are necessary in our drive to achieving those transitions to sustainable and inclusive mobility, which is what TRA is all about. You've heard a lot of thank yous, and I do have to go through a few more thank yous. I have to thank our sponsors, our exhibitors, our speakers, our researchers, our conference organizers, those responsible for these lovely historic buildings that we have in the Royal Dublin Society, and of course you, our delegates, which we cannot do without. There's been a huge organizing team working behind the scenes for the event. Includes the local organisers' committees. John mentioned our Department of Transport and other government departments, the European Commission, our other European stakeholders, and even further afield in North America and even in Asia as well. We've put a lot of effort into bringing those groups to TRA to make it a much more global event. Thank you all sincerely for being us on every step of our journey. Thank you, Eugene, for a wonderful summation of the conference. Eugene is a colleague of mine from Galway, the west of Ireland. I have to put in my own personal insights as well, and what I've seen, particularly the new areas that we've tried to look at TRA. We had a wonderful event on the Transport Agency of the Future, where we discussed the evolution that needs to take place in how we plan, design, and operate our transport systems. And the skills that are needed to move it away from a purely civil engineering issue. We had a wonderful Women in Transport session last night. And this is looking at the diversity that we need, that diversity and inclusivity that we need in our transport and how we plan our transport systems. I'd like to mention our poster sessions. We did put a lot of effort into enhancing and increasing the visibility of our 350 or so posters and the poster presenters. I also have to mention our school outreach program. Again, Eugene mentioned the PhD students, but we even reached out to the younger generation, the 14, 15, 16-year-olds. We call them transition year students. We reached out to those who will inherit what we leave behind, and why we're building the way we're building today. And it is really important to bring those through, and I'm hoping that future TRAs will continue that new initiative for TRA. And of course, personally, meeting all of the colleagues that I've encountered for the last few decades in my involvement, not just across Ireland and the UK, but also in all of the European committees that I've been involved with. You really are a wonderful and committed and innovative group of transport professionals, and it's been a real privilege to work with you over the last decades. Ladies and gentlemen, Goramila Mahagviv Golair, thank you very much for being with us in Dublin, and I look forward to seeing you in Budapest in 2 years' time. Slán Abhaile, have a safe journey home.
I'd now like to call Minister Jack Chambers back to the stage, and also our representatives from Budapest, so that we can hand over the TRA baton.
Thanks very much, Celine. And just before I conclude, I just want to thank Professor O'Brien for your summary of the conclusions and the recommendations of TRA 2024, and also to thank Signe Razzo, the Deputy Director of Research and Innovation, and my congratulations to all those who've received an award to really commend the research and the importance of that in the context of TRA. So now it's my pleasure to hand over the presidency of TRA to Hungary, who will be the organisers of TRA 2026. I would like to welcome Dr. Tamás Bartel, Deputy State Secretary from the Ministry of Construction and Transport Hungary, who's joining me here. And I look forward to the discussions that occurred at TRA 2024 being continued in Hungary. Hungary now have the opportunity to shape the future of mobility, sustainability and accessibility for generations to come. And I want to wish you the best of luck. I want to thank you all for your participation, your attendance and your support for TRA in Dublin. It's been a privilege for Ireland and our government to host such an important event. We'll be trying to embed the research, the collaboration and the opportunities that have come from this, from the hosting of this. And again, we look forward to 2026 and seeing many of the outcomes of TRA 2024 being followed through in Hungary and beyond. So thanks very much. And I'm now going to hand over the what looks like the Champions League trophy to Hungary and for all things transport. So thanks very much. It's a heavy, isn't it? Very heavy.
Thank you, Minister Chambers. That is heavy. I mean, the trophy is heavy. I don't know who will be the next winner, but they should send a stronger guy here. Or to Budapest, I mean. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, the past few days here in Dublin have once again shown that the Transport Research Arena is Europe's most significant professional event, focusing on transportation and mobility. Thousands of professionals, companies, exhibitors and industry organizations were represented, raising the biennially organized event to a higher level. This sector is not only important from a national economic perspective. Several universities, state-owned and private companies invest time, capital and human resource in research and development in this field of mobility. We are proud that we are at the forefront of testing various intelligent transportation systems, not only in Middle Europe, but across the world and the continent. Our colleagues have been working for years to prepare to host this wonderful event. I hope we will be able not only to introduce Hungarian knowledge, innovation and developments, but to connect professionals from all around the world in the heart of Europe to jointly build the transport of the future. This is a rewarding but a responsible task. Such an event is also perfect for showcasing the hosting country and city as an economic and innovation hub in the global stage, as we could see here in Dublin. This is well symbolized by the fact that in 2026 in Budapest, a unique professional consortium will organize this event, including Széchenyi University, Budapest University of Technology and Economics, Hungarian Association of Transport, Hungarian Institute for Transport Sciences and Logistics, and Hungarian Public Roads. The theme of the event in 2026 is regeneration in transport, implying that our aim is to make transport industry an appealing career path for young people. Therefore, more and more of them will choose engineering as a profession and contribute to the development of mobility. We are very pleased that Budapest can host this event in 2026. We are proud that soon we will be able to welcome the best professionals of the world. We hope that 2 years from now we can meet you as well in our beautiful capital. We and I personally would like to congratulate the Irish hosts for organizing this amazing event. You have set the bar extremely high. Participants could enjoy exciting roundtable discussions, keynote speeches, and high-quality scientific interpretations. The event's value and significance is also demonstrated by its reach beyond the European continent, as representatives from more than 50 countries joined us in the past few days, putting Dublin in the focus of the world's transportation professionals. I would like to express my special thanks and our special thanks to the professional organizations that supported our application, including Advisory Council for Aviation Research and Innovation in Europe, European Technology Platform Alliance for Logistic Innovation through Collaboration in Europe, Conference of Europe Directors of Roads, European Construction, Built Environment and Energy Efficient Building Technology Platform, European Road Transport Research Advisory Council, European Rail Research Advisory Council, European Transport Research Alliance, and the European Technology Platform. And finally, I ask you to write in your calendars, Spring 2026, Transport Research Arena, Budapest, Hungary. Thank you for your attention, and see you in 2 years. Thank you.
Hello, Dublin. Greetings from Budapest. The next Transport Research Arena conference will be held here in 2026. We Hungarians like to think that our unique mindset helped us to contribute to humanity, including advancements in mobility with a lot of innovations. But no achievements can be without thinking together. That's why we invite you, leading experts, to Budapest. Over the next 2 years, we will organize an inspiring conference where we can talk and think about mobility together.
Cultivating creative minds. Industry revolutionizing minds. Harnessing minds for smart solutions. Empowering minds to innovate. Minds in motion.
Gurab Mila Mahagriva Korja. 100,000 thanks, friends. We are at the end of our closing ceremony and our TRA 2024 in Dublin. We look forward to meeting you in another 2 years alongside our new friends in Budapest. Sok Sörekt. Best of luck, Budapest. Slán agus Bannock, safe home all. Bye-bye. This is the closing of TRA 2024. Thank you.